Hello there, how you doing out there in YouTube land? Jim Asbell, one of my viewers, wanted to send me, he had one tube of single-use super glue gel. It's been years. When this stuff first came out on the market, I mean, you're talking, what, 30 years ago, I guess? I used to use it occasionally, but it's been so long. He sent me one magnet and one, single-use tube. And I'm going to mount that on the back of the SQ-8 camera. I decided, and I want to get you a close-up, I decided against mounting it on the bottom, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to try to get you in closer if I can. Here, I don't know, but hang on a minute. Let me just try to get you in macro here. I'm using the KODAK Play Touch, which is fixed focus on macro with switch, if you're familiar with those cameras. And I like it the best for close-ups. This is the front of the camera, obviously. This is the lens. This is the top where the two buttons are right here. Now, if I was to mount this on the bottom, which is what I was going to do, and I'm going to turn it sideways, the lens is facing this way. If you look on the bottom, where the seam is, there is very little space right here to mount the magnet, and there is much more space here. However, the heat would have to come on now, when I hope you can still hear me. The magnet is much larger than I thought it was. Now, if I was to mount this here and try to mount this towards the end, I would hit the seam. As a matter of fact, the magnet is being affected by something inside. See it? Okay, so I can't do it that way. If I was to mount it that way, I won't be able to open the camera. Believe it or not, the last test I made on this, the camera didn't work, and I had to push the reset button and all that stuff. The card went inside the camera. Even though I put it in very carefully in the shop, it went inside the camera, and I had to remove this little screw here, which, as you're looking at the video, and it should be in focus because I'm within the macro range, right at the bottom of the, you see, right between the two screws right there. The screw is right here. Okay? And believe it or not, I successfully took the screw out, and the camera opened up nicely. And this is the back, and there's nothing on the back. Okay? But if I was to mount that on the bottom of the camera like I was going to do, the glue would definitely get in the seam, and I would never be able to open this camera again if the card went inside. So what I'm going to do is to put the magnet on the back. Now, I took my magnifying glass and I looked very carefully. This is just a decoration. These are not vents. To look at it, you'd think, well, geez, you know, that's ventilation. It's not. There is no openings there whatsoever. So I'm going to take and glue this magnet right on the back. And it's not going to stay in the middle. Well, yeah, I guess it will. Like that. Okay? That's how I'm going to do it. Okay, what I will do then is I will make a galvanized, I have a lot of galvanized sheet metal, small pieces. I will cut a piece of galvanized into a L shape to go from the bottom of the camera like this. Okay, I'll bend it up so it'll be an L shape. L shape like this, okay? The cube camera will sit here. Here's the lens. The magnet's on the back. All right? So once that L is made, I'll be able to mount that L onto anything I want. I can put a bracket here or something, and like a hook or something, and hang it somewhere, or mount it on the sun visor of the car. You know, once that's on an L bracket and the camera's stuck onto that, it's not going to go anywhere. Because the clip that comes with these cameras, if you're not aware of it, do not fit. There's glue this magnet on the back of the cube cam, because just like I showed you, if I try to put it on the bottom, the magnet is a little bit larger than I thought for this camera, but normally it would be perfect, and it still is going to be perfect, but for the back, right in the center of the back of the camera. So when I make the L bracket out of galvanized sheet metal, thin galvanized sheet metal, it'll be like this. The cube cam will sit here. Here's the lens of the cube cam. The magnet will be on the back so that this camera will sit like this. Of course, it's going to sit right side up on the L bracket, which will be all right. This is the back here. The magnet keeps sliding around, but it'll be sitting like this. So the magnet will be holding onto the back of the L bracket. Now, I'm not going to bother with a tripod mount down here, because this is not the kind of camera that you need to have on a tripod. They're not reliable, as the last video showed. They're erratic. They're neat for the money, 12 bucks. They're still a good deal. Would I buy another one? No, I don't think so. They're all right for, you know, like my intention of getting this is for driving videos. Because you can't get a decent car cam. First of all, car cams only work when they're plugged in. I don't like that. I want a self-contained camera. I don't want a camera that has to be plugged into the cigarette lighter. Second of all, you can't get a good quality car cam for less than $100 or close to it. I've looked around, and you know, I even bought a $17.99 one that was a piece of crap. So it'd be 1280 or 1080p. It's lousy. This is 100 times better quality than that, and it keeps hanging up and freezing up. It's junk. So, you know, you're not going to get a car cam for under 20 bucks that's any good. You're going to have to pay close to $100, and it's not worth it. So that's my intention, is to use this for a driving cam. But even then, I don't figure that it's going to be too reliable, because you don't know when it craps out. You don't know how long it's going to record, and you don't know if it's going to record at all. At this point here, I could probably make something that'll go down like this, so I can stick it on the sun visor. I can adjust it, or however, I can put something here so it could go on the sun visor here, you know, whatever. So basically, the galvanized bracket will be made for, you know, will be held, the camera will be held on with the magnet to that. It also says works best on porous material, so there is a possibility that this glue may not hold on this. I think this is metal, but I'm going to try it. I'm just going to put a piece It's a single-use glue. You know, one-time use only. And then you throw the tube out. So what you do is I'm gonna get my reading glasses here. I guess this is an applicator. I really don't know. It's been years since I used this, and the ones I used to use were a little different than this. So it's a single use, and now that means I'm going to only be able to do this once. Put a drop in the center here, and just hope that I can get that on there one shot. Like that. So why don't we set this piece of cardboard down here. Now I got a couple of Q-tips which I cut the tops off of, you know, the cotton, in case I need it. Alright, I got an old safety pin here I can throw away. I don't want to use any of my wife's sewing needles because, you know, you literally can't use the needle again once you contaminate it, because you'll never get it cleaned off. So here goes. And it says do not squeeze the tube when you pin it. Nope, we won't squeeze the tube when we pin it. Not coming out. Maybe I didn't stick it in far enough, although I felt it going in. Okay, maybe now. I think it just went in a little further here. I don't get my big ugly head in the way here. It ain't coming out. It's not coming out. Oh, there it is. Okay, she's on there. Alright, she's on there. We'll cap this, although this is a single use. Alright, she's capped. We'll let it sit. And I didn't get any on my hands. Good. Alright, we'll just let it sit there. And she's on the back. Get you a close-up here. Well, I went to pick it up and it slid all over there. That stuff don't set up as good as I thought it would. Alright, we'll come back on this video in a little bit here, because I wasn't expecting that stuff to move. I thought it would instant bond. Well, it's been about 4 minutes now, and it's a good thing I checked it, because this is on a level surface, but this magnet was all the way over here, and it still slides around on here. So, I don't know if this is going to work out. What I like is epoxy. Epoxy is much better. That's probably why I stopped using super glue, because I never had any faith in it. It never really worked. I didn't use that much years ago, but, you know, use it that much, I should say. But my experience with it is it never worked for me, you know. But we'll give it a chance. I mean, you know, maybe this has got to set up for a half hour or so. I don't know. Jim said it would bond instantly and there's very little time to do anything. Well, I find that I can still slide this around on here. Now, more came out of here than I wanted it to. And I had to take this little Q-tip stick here where I modified and wipe off the ends because it started running down the side of the camera. I didn't want that. So right now it's staying pretty much centered. Not perfectly, but it's close enough. I just didn't want it to be off to one side. And the most important thing is I didn't want the glue to start running down the camera. Because with my poor eyesight, I couldn't see, this stuff coming out until it was too late. In the beginning, it wouldn't come out at all. But it's very hard to work with something like this. It's real tiny. But if this works out good, I'll still be able to open the camera, and this will be on the back. So that if the card falls inside the camera, I can retrieve it with no problem. Alright, it's been a half an hour. I occasionally peeked over to make sure that this didn't slide anymore. Now I want to test the glue. Seems to be okay, but I'm afraid it don't look like it's sliding, but the back of the magnet is sticky because a tiny bit of glue, very tiny bit of glue got on it. So what I'm afraid may happen is this get pulled off when you're on the metal and you go to separate it. If this don't work out, another one of my viewers suggested using Velcro, self-adhesive Velcro, but of course this back is messed up with all this super glue on here, and it is sticky. I don't think this stuff is going to work. My fingers are still sticky with it. There's nothing actually on my fingers that I can see, but that shouldn't be sticky. But I am going to give it a good time to set up. I am going to come back on this video in 1 hour. If it isn't set up in 1 hour properly, it'll prove this stuff is no good. Because this should have bonded instantly, just about, to a point where when I tried to slide this, it slid off to the side, and when I slide it, I shouldn't have been able to move that at all. So, alright, it is now, okay, I'm looking at the clock. I'm coming back in 1 hour. I don't know if my wife is going to be home by then, because I don't want to hog up the table. She's got some stuff she's picking up at the store. So, I want to try to keep the camera here to do this video here, rather than to do everything in the shop. It's much easier here. I don't have to run my Mr. Heater in there to get the room up to temperature so I can do things in there, because I still have to use it. Okay, so we're coming back in 1 hour. Don't go away. Alright, I plugged the SQ-8 into the wall charger, the one where I glued the back on. And the reason I did that is because maybe the glue will dry quicker because it's warm. But take a look at the screen here, because it was recording for 44 minutes. Okay, you can see I moved the camera. There was no light on it. It recorded, but it's got a corrupted file. The MD-80 clone used to do this too. You only get half the video. This is something's wrong with the video. But it recorded while it was plugged in. So that's why you have to remove the card. Otherwise, this thing will record while it is charging. Now we're going to go outside and we're going to try to see how the camera sticks to the metal pole. Okay, this magnet stuck on some metal a few times here, and it didn't pull off, so even though the glue feels a little bit sticky around the edges, we're going to try that outside. Hang on a minute, we'll go outside and we'll try it on the bird feeder pole now that we got the magnet in the back here. Okay, before I do that, I want to see if it's going to record. The blue light is on. I don't know if you can see it because we're outside now. So I'll push the power button very briefly here. I guess it's recording now. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount it on the bird feeder pole right here. Okay. We'll see if it records. I charged it for 45 minutes, but of course, as I said, it was recording for those 45 minutes. So I don't know. The best thing to do is to take the card out of the camera when you're charging it. Now, while it was plugged in, it did not have a light on it. Now, what I should have done is to literally push the power button to make the light come on. I don't know whether that would have worked or not. It doesn't always. It's very temperamental. It doesn't work the same way every time. Anyways, I better get out of the way here. Maybe I can get some close-ups of the birds. If I do, I'll put those on this video. If not, I'll take this camera off and we'll see if the magnet stays on the camera. Okay, I went in the back of the shed and stayed there for a while so that in case there's any birds that come out. Okay, the camera is still on the pole, so let's pull it off. Magnet's holding good, so the glue is holding very well. I won't be making a bracket for this on this video, but I will probably make one off camera, and when I get to use it in the car, I will. So right now I am recording, and you probably are looking at my face right now at the same time that I am recording this. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount it on the bird feeder pole right here. Okay. We'll see if it records. I charged it for 45 minutes, but of course, as I said, it was recording for those 45 minutes. So I don't know. The best thing to do is to take the card out of the camera when you charge on the pole. So let's pull it off. Magnet's holding good, so the glue is holding very well. I won't be making a bracket for this on this video, but I will probably make one off camera, and when I get to use it in the car, I will. So right now I am recording, and you probably are looking at my face right now at the same time that I am recording this. So let's stop it and see if it is recording.